think the supply chain industry kind of chose me. And they're all like, oh, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, whatever the number. And the real answer is zero. CIA was like the coolest job opportunity I ever had. When I was graduating college, there were no supply chain degrees at that time. I was in college in Washington, D.C. And it's funny, I was getting a finance degree. I figured I'd go into banking and go hit Wall Street and have a career there. Concept of going into consulting and being in a new environment every few months to a year was appealing. I just kind of fell in love with the shop floor. So they thought I would be doing, with a finance degree, I would be doing general ledger stuff. No, I went out straight to the factory floor and started looking at how things were put together, how things flowed, how product flowed, how information came in. And I just kind of fell in love with it. And, that was almost 30 years ago, and I haven't looked back. So if I wasn't a consultant, the cool factor of the CIA was like the coolest job opportunity I ever had. I was in college in Washington, D.C., and I wasn't being recruited to be James Bond, although I kind of thought I was. Everybody thinks, when they think semiconductor and they think chip making, and they're like, oh, Nvidia, they make the best chip. And I always ask the question, how many chips do you think Nvidia makes in a year? And they're all like, oh, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, whatever the number. And the real answer is zero. Nvidia makes zero chips because they have no manufacturing. So Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, also known as TSMC, Samsung, and Intel are the three companies right now that are probably making the most advanced chips. AI isn't about using a computer or using a learning language model or Claude or ChatGPT. It's about outcomes. AI needs to be focused on outcomes. So one thing I would say is, before saying, hey, we want to go use AI and do AI or whatever you end up saying, it's like, hey, what's the outcome that we want? What are your biggest problems? What are your biggest challenges? A good example, a technology company, was trying to navigate tariffs. And it was kind of like, hey, what question are you trying to answer? And they're like, well, I manufacture in China today. And what happens if I manufacture in Vietnam, for example? How much would it cost to move there? Okay, there's one question. The other one is tariffs are based on volume. What happens if my sales go up or my sales go down? What happens to that business case? So all of a sudden you start asking the right questions and you're like, these are the questions I want answers to. And then all of a sudden you can kind of work your way back, and say, okay, if I were to do something like a digital twin, right, which can use AI, to answer some of these questions. It's like, hey, what's the outcome that we want? And once you picture that outcome, then you can go back and say, okay, let's look at the process and see, okay, where can AI help us get this outcome?